Hey friends, welcome back. This is the start of season 3, and I want to start this series with a confession. There have been seasons in my ministry where I was leading people somewhere I was not living from myself, where the words coming out of my mouth on a Sunday morning were true. I believed them, but they were not coming from a place of overflow. They were coming from a place of obligation, of muscle memory, of knowing how to do the thing without the thing actually being happening in me. And the dangerous part is that nobody could tell. That is the thing about the worship leader role that does not get talked about very much. You can become very good at producing an experience for other people while your own interior life is quietly running on empty. You can lead a room into genuine encounter with God while privately wondering when the last time was that you had one yourself. You can preach formation and be skipping it. You can sing about surrender and be white-knuckling everything. I'm not saying that to be dramatic. I'm saying it because I think a lot of you know exactly what I'm talking about. And I think most of us have felt alone in it. That's what this season is about. We just finished Romans 12, 21 verses describing what a mercy-formed life looks like from the outside. A body presented, a mind renewed, love without a mask, enemy love, the whole shape of it. But Romans 12 does not tell you what it costs to try to lead other people into that life, while you yourself are still being formed. It does not tell you what to do when your identity gets tangled up in whether Sunday went well. It does not address what happens to you when you are always the one pouring out and nobody is pouring back in. It does not name the slow drift that happens when the role starts replacing the relationship. That's what we're going to talk about here. This is not a series about craft. It's not about song selection or team culture or how to run a better rehearsal. There are good resources for all of that, and I'm glad they exist. This is a series about what is happening underneath the role, the interior life of a worship leader. The stuff most of us are carrying alone because the nature of the position makes it hard to admit that you are struggling. Because you are supposed to be the one who has it together. Because the room is looking at you, and you have learned over time to give the room what it needs, regardless of what is true inside you. And I want to be careful here, because I'm not interested in a series that just makes everyone feel bad about themselves, or that turns into a long list of everything that is wrong with ministry. That is not useful, and it's not honest to the whole picture. Ministry is one of the great privileges of life. Getting to stand in a room full of people and point them toward Jesus week after week is something I would not trade. The relationships that form around a shared mission are some of the deepest I have ever known. There is a joy in this work that is real and that sustains you through a lot. But that joy has to come from somewhere. And if it is coming from the applause, from the metrics, from whether the room responded the way you hoped, from the approval of your pastor or your team or your congregation, it will eventually run out. That well cannot hold water long enough. So over the next several episodes, we're going to sit with some things that most worship leaders are living with but not naming. We're going to talk about the gap between the platform and the private life, about identity and what happens when it gets too attached to the role, about comparison and what it actually is doing to you over time, about leading when the well is dry, about the difference between burnout and drift and why it matters which one you're in, about the isolation that comes with this particular kind of calling, and about saying no as a spiritual discipline, and about what it looks like to actually be formed rather than just performing formation. Some of these episodes are going to be uncomfortable. I'm going to try to write from inside the struggle rather than from resolution because that's the only honest way to do it. I'm still in the middle of most of this myself. This is not a disclaimer, that's the point. Formation is not something you arrive at, it's something you keep returning to. So if you're a worship leader, a worship team member, a church creative, a producer, a pastor, anyone who serves in a role that asks you to give something of yourself week after week, this series is for you. Let me pray. Jesus, you know what it costs to serve. You know the gap between what we project and what we carry. You're not surprised by any of it, and you're not disappointed in us for being honest about it. As we open this season, would you do the interior work? Not just inform us, but form us. Meet us in the places we have been trying to manage alone, and remind us that the same mercy that formed the life Romans 12 describes is still available to us right now, in whatever state we are actually in. In your name, amen. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Formation to Transformation, a worship devotional podcast. It's been just an honor to hear from so many of you. I would just ask if you could leave me a rating and review wherever you're listening to this. And you can find everything else going on at formationtotransformation.com. You can get a link to my Substack and get set up on emails. And if you're going to share an episode, I so appreciate it. But would you head over to Instagram and tag me there? It's at Ryan Loche, RyanLoche. That's how you pronounce my name, by the way, Loche. So just for those of you interested. Anyway, thank you. I'm rambling. Thank you for being a part of this, and we'll see you in the next episode.